Welcome to Office Hours by Triple X Church. I'm your host, Carl Thomas. I'm a pastor, certified neurohealth coach, and a guy who frankly struggled with a lot of stuff we talk about here for over 20 years until I found freedom about a decade ago. In today's episode, we are going to be jumping in and answering this question. What can I use to block porn on my phone and other devices? That's what I will be discussing today, so make sure you're hanging there with me, recognizing no questions are off the table, and I'm going to be as honest with my answers as I possibly can be, so don't get offended. Without any further delay, let's jump in. Okay, so this question, well, it didn't really come in our office hours page stated the way I just put it, but we've received multiple questions related to this concern, such as what software do we recommend? Do we know of anything that works on every device, including a TV? All of those questions with this tone of, please help me. I need to lock down my access to things like porn because my behavior is out of control. We've gotten, I don't know if it's something about the weather or what, but we've gotten a bunch of questions like that over the past couple months, all related to this idea of I need software, help me find software, or I need help with your software. We don't really have filtering software. Ever Accountable is the program that we use, but regardless, it's all questions related to this stuff. And I wanted to answer it rather than one at a time. First of all, because it would be boring for me to just give you a one-line answer. Oh, I think you should go here, or this is how you install this software, or no, it doesn't work on this TV. But also, I wanted to kind of cover this topic because it really is it's a symptom of a larger issue, and that's this. There are still tons and tons and tons of people out there who still think, and you might be one of those people, that filtering, locking down your device, parental controls, that's how I get over this thing, right? This is how I get over my porn addiction. And man, I got to tell you, that's just not the case, okay? Filtering can be helpful. I'm not saying that filters don't have their place in the world. Parental controls, especially when you're dealing with kids, are very helpful. I've used them with my kids when they were younger, definitely. Hey, they have to get certain things approved by me before they can either install an app or go to a certain website. Like, used all that stuff on the parental control side. But this idea that limiting access is how I stay free is just not the case. The reality is, first of all, you can always find a workaround. Okay, that's the first thing. Second of all, you don't even need porn to fantasize and masturbate. You'll figure that one out, right? Even if you do find software out there that locks down every potential avenue for seeing something, you still have your brain. And if you've seen porn in the past, I got news for you. Your brain can do a pretty good job putting those images in front of you, mentally speaking. Certainly to an extent where you'll be able to fantasize and masturbate to them. Okay, so let's not kid ourselves and think that lack of access is going to be it, right? Because again, you're probably going to find a way to work around it anyway. Which brings me to my second point. If you're looking for a software that needs to be like really good, right? Needs to really just screen out everything, because in the past you've found workarounds with other softwares. That's an indication that you're kind of missing the point, right? You don't install filter to then fight it, right? You don't install accountability software to then skirt around it. That's totally missing the point. You're totally defeating the purpose of the software. The purpose of a filter or a parental control is, in theory, to just give you less distractions each day, to give you less opportunities, right? Some of these softwares, they have a feature where when you're about to go to a site, it'll tell you, hey, you're about to go to, a questionable site. Do you want to keep going, right? I've seen software like that. The idea is to kind of like pause, right? It's supposed to give you a reason to have sort of like a mental break, right? Hey, I want to go do this. I want to act out. Oh crap, I can't. Here's my software getting in the way. Wait a minute. Is this really what I want to do? Because I can either spend the next 30 minutes trying to figure out a workaround, or I can just stop and do the things I know I should be doing, like reaching out to my accountability partner, posting in my community, reaching out to a friend, going to get a cup of coffee, hitting the gym to try to get my mind off this, right? That's in theory the idea of a filter. It's not just simply, hey, I'm going to remove your temptation, so therefore you're good, because that just doesn't work. All right. There's other things at play, much, much, much deeper things at play than just the availability of porn. It drives me crazy when you hear people and organizations out there sometimes railing on the availability, the easy accessibility of porn, which I agree, it's way too accessible, way too available, but they just continue to scream about that like that's the problem. And that's not the problem. Okay? The problem is way deeper, right? It's why are you going to porn in the first place? Why are you using porn to help manage your daily life struggles, right? That's the big issue. The availability and access just makes it easier to use these things. But trust me, if it wasn't available or it wasn't easily accessible, you'd still figure out something else, right? Or your brain would, because you haven't dealt with the deeper matters. You have to deal with the deeper stuff. So, if you want to install a filter or accountability software or any sorts of things like that, just to help simplify your decision making, like I want to have to say no less often. I don't want to stumble upon things accidentally, right? I don't want to be Googling for my next car and up comes a topless model sprawled across the car I'm looking for, right? If those are the reasons you want to install a filter or some sort of thing, go for it, right? I get that. There's nothing wrong. That's wise, right? Eliminate the distractions, eliminate the opportunities. Give yourself, again, a reason to pause when you do want to act out. All that's good. But if you're doing it simply because you believe that less access equals less acting out equals sobriety, man, you're just going to be doing this for the rest of your life, and it's going to get super frustrating. And eventually you're going to realize, hey, this stuff doesn't work. So that's all I got for you. And no, I don't have any recommendations other than check out Ever Accountable. They have some good stuff. I think they have filtering on the Android systems. Do not believe they offer filtering on iOS, but they do have pretty good accountability software. And to me, that's actually far more important than the filtering. Anyway, if you have a question for me that you would like to answer or like to have me answer in a future upcoming Office Hours episode, please go to triplexchurch.com/office-hours, submit your question there, and I will answer it. That's about it. Have a great week.